You'll Never Find Me is a 2023 film directed by Josiah Allen and Indianna Bell, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. This is an Australian film, and I believe it's the directorial debut of both those directors. This had its premiere at Fantastic Fest, and then it got a little bit of a wider release in 2024. So, for all intents and purposes, it is a 2023 film, but I'm kind of considering it a 2024 since most people got to watch it in 2024. Regardless, it's a psychological horror, and I definitely was drawn to the plot and drawn to the type of this film, the type of film that this is, because it's a very talky film and it's definitely heavy on the psychological, but heavy in the small location and the conversation of basically two people talking to each other and kind of things getting a little bit weird and creepy and horrific, you could say, but all just involving dialogue. And I really like talky movies like that, especially in the horror genre, and especially when it plays a lot with like mystery and stuff like that. So what we have going on here is we have this guy who says his name is Patrick, and he's basically in this like small home slash trailer. I don't know if it's a trailer, but it's definitely like some kind of cabin. He lives in this kind of enclosed area where like the gates are locked at night and everything. And in the middle of the night, it's really stormy, and this he gets a visitor and by this girl, and she's actually titled the Visitor. I don't think you get her name at all in the movie, and she comes in and she's soaking wet, so he dries her off, gives her a shower, all that, and they start to have conversation, and slowly but surely there's a lot of like trust issues and things get weird, and this film definitely gets supernatural is the wrong word because it definitely doesn't get that way, but it gets very out of this world and maybe dreamlike, and things start to happen that you really start to question reality, and you really start to question the mental states that these two individuals are in and what exactly is going on. It plays off like a mystery, and I really like that. And some people aren't going to like the whole talking thing and not having a lot happen, but I would say a lot does happen. This film gets very eerie, very much so. There are some very odd things that happen throughout the whole story where you really don't know what's going on. For example, I'll keep it as brief and spoiler free as possible, but there's this one time where the girl does decide to leave, and things start to get really heated at a certain point, but then all of a sudden they'll calm down again, and everything will be back to normal, and they'll be just starting to have a normal conversation when literally 10 seconds before she was freaking out and everything was going into chaos. So things start to flip like that, very back and forth, where you're just scratching your head, and it's just like emotions are are really fluctuating. I really don't know what's going on. But by the third act, things start to get explained, and you start to get some reveals that kind of piece everything together in that sense. This film is definitely shot beautifully. It plays with a lot of darkness, and there's a lot of dark elements to it, but it's not one of those movies where you can't really see anything. I mean, there's things that you kind of you can't see everything, but it's not just dark for mistake sake. That the cinematography is done purposefully, and it's done beautifully, and the camera angles are all beautiful, and just the atmosphere, like the way the movie is shot, gives this film that eerie atmosphere that the plot and the writing already has it. So with the cinematography added on top of it, it's just like that much better kind of thing. I was really confused and almost checking out for the first and second act, but by the time the third act rolls around and things start to get explained a lot more, this film has some really, really good ideas and plays with some really good ideas. And it really asks a lot of questions, and where it goes, I found really interesting. And with all the reveals, they all worked for me. This film merits a second and a third watch for sure. And I really like the final 5 minutes are really breathtaking, and the acting is phenomenal and exceptional. And when this film goes to the places that it wants to go, it works really well when it gets there, and it plays with it it plays with its themes really well when it gets there. And I appreciated the very ending of this film, like I said, and just the way it decides to leave you. Like it really leaves you in a place where you're reflecting on it and you're thinking about it a lot. So I really appreciate that. Both performances, like I said, were great, and I don't have too many complaints about this film, other than the fact that it definitely its pacing is quite slow. Like it's a really slow burn in its first half, and you're really just gonna have to know who you are because this film is literally just a lot of talking. And there's horrific moments for sure, but they're sprinkled within. It's not a film that you're gonna get, a lot of horrific beats throughout. So know who you are going into it, but I had a good time, and I definitely look forward to revisiting this film again because I think I'm gonna get even more out of it next time. So that's You'll Never Find Me. Subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you like to listen to my voice or if you like my film reviews. I'll be back with more soon, so stay tuned for those. Check out what's on the channel already. Stay tuned for what's coming. Until next review, have a good one. Take care and cheers.